Hey guys, EnderHerve here. Gonna be doing some Summoner's Greed, showing off all the special monsters up until now. Today is December 12th, 2021. So if they add any new ones, you know why they're not on this list, because it'd be outdated. I'm also doing a tier list of all the special monsters at the end, so if you just want to see that, this video is probably gonna be in chapters for each special monster and then the tier list at the end. So just scroll or scrub, I guess, until you see the tier list. How to get special monsters is every week or every couple of weeks. I don't know how they do it now. There will be an event where gnomes will run across the field, and if you kill them, you get summoning stones for the special monster, right? So the week I'm recording this is the summoning stones for the lizard and the monkey. So once you reach 1,000 summoning stones, you can summon the special monster. If there's a specific special monster you want, you're just gonna have to wait for it to be in rotation, because I'm pretty sure the way they do this is they do it in the order that they were released. So like Darkwing will go first, then Cronus, then Rudolph, then Hellhound, so on and so forth, right? So whatever order I'm doing this video in is the order that they come in. An important thing to know as well is that the seller and the monitor can also have a deal where they sell 10 summoning stones for whatever monster. So be sure you're looking at them as well, because it does take a decent amount of time to get 1,000 summoning stones. Alright, so up first we have Darkwing. Darkwing, he shoots a fireball that does splash damage like most of the other dragons, and just like most of the other dragons, he also has a beam as his special ability. His beam, the beam itself does double his damage, and then the beam also applies burn, which does half of his damage over 15 seconds, I think, or 10. I think overall he's alright. He's nothing too crazy. His attack speed is slow, which is kind of bad most of the time. And I feel like there are better damage dealers in the game than Darkwing. And he costs so much to upgrade, so at the end of the day, it's not even that worth it. But he does have an evolved form, which probably does a lot more than his base form, so keep that into account. So next up is Cronus. Cronus throws a fireball as his basic attack, which does splash damage, and as his ultimate, he throws an ice ball that freezes enemies for 3 seconds and also does 100% of his damage, meaning that it does whatever damage he does in an area and freezes everyone for 3 seconds. Another slow attacker, so not the best in my opinion. Back when I made the first special monster video, there was a thing that where you put Speedy on Cronus, and then he would literally just spam his ice attack and literally freeze the wave wherever Cronus is, and still do splash damage to all of them with his basic attack. So basically he could just infinitely stun whatever, as long as he wasn't frozen or stunned, or Speedy wasn't frozen or stunned. So now that that's patched out of the game, I don't think he's that great, because once again there are better damage dealers in the game, and better people with the ability to stun the wave or freeze the wave. Up next we have Rudolph. Rudolph attacks a single target with its like antlers, I guess, with its nose kind of. It looks like it just swipes up and attacks. And as a special, it deals 100% of its damage to all enemies around. I personally like Rudolph because he's cheap to upgrade. Unlike most of the special monsters, he starts at 5 cost to upgrade instead of 500. He's also a fast attacker, and I think his ability is pretty good for what it does. Like if you have Speedy plus Mighty on Rudolph, it basically just clears the top of the screen all the time, like without fail. I kind of forgot to record Hellhound again, but I just used the footage I had for Hellhound back in the day, because he hasn't changed, right? So Hellhound, his basic attack is like he makes a fist come out the ground, and it does splash damage. His special ability is to buff adjacent monsters, so he's kind of like a Mighty that can attack, but the buff starts at way less, and of course he costs a bunch to upgrade. So if you want his buff to be a lot, you're gonna have to spend a lot of coins on him. I think Hellhound is probably one of our first worth upgrading special monsters because yes, he's expensive, but his ability is really good. So like you pair him with any global attacker, and he'll be able to buff them up so that they can just wipe the board immediately, right? Like Felina, Slime King, another special monster we're gonna get into later. Like if you give them plus Mighty and Hellhound, like you can just wipe the board for free at the start of the game. Up next, we have another good one, Pony Sparks. Pony Sparks shoots a lightning bolt as its basic attack, and as its special, it makes a lightning bolt strike down from the sky that stuns a group of enemies. Pony Sparks is really good because one, she's a fast attacker, so she's gonna be able to spawn in that lightning bolt to stun a lot of times. And two, her in combination with Speedy and another like Archangel, I think the Ice Archangel, is able to stun lock whatever wave that comes in. So like if you put them at the front, they're able to just stun the wave. I'm not sure if they patched this one out too, but last time I played, this is how we got around the hard levels. We just stun locked the front and then had double boosted Slime King. Double boosted Slime King or Felina in the back to just one-shot the wave while they're just frozen there. So yeah, Pony Sparks is another one of those that I would say is worth upgrading, because actually you don't even need to upgrade Pony Sparks. You can have it at level 1, you just need its ability. Up next we have Mummy King. Mummy King just waves a bunch of bandages at the enemy to hit them with a single target, and then his ultimate ability is he spits on the whole lane and does damage to everyone equal to 2 times his current damage. So Mummy King is interesting because he's not too bad, but I feel like there's still better attackers in the game than Mummy King. He's a fast attacker, which is a plus always, but he's still kind of expensive to upgrade, so it's kind of hard for me to vouch for him. But honestly, if you were able to upgrade him to max, he's probably a really good monster. So that's why I don't think he's as bad as like Darkwing or like Cronus. The fact that he damages the whole wave too, well not the whole wave, whatever column he's in, is also a really good ability. Like it's a lesser global basically. It's like a pocket King Slime or pocket Felina. Up next we have Sizzle. So Sizzle shoots out a fireball as its basic attack, which is splash damage, and as its ultimate, it hits the whole screen. Like it makes lava erupt out of the floor, targeting each enemy on the screen. So Sizzle has a global ability, which is good. Like global abilities are really good, especially those that do a lot of damage, because having to actually interact with the wave is not fun. Why not just one-shot it off rip? So I'm joking obviously, but not really. Like if you can one-shot the whole thing, then why not do it, right? But of course Sizzle takes a lot to upgrade and is a slow attacker, so his ability won't pop off as much, but it's still a really good ability which carries it as a special monster. Up next we have Archimedes, Arch something, I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically its basic attack is just a giant beam, and its ultimate ability is to freeze the whole screen for 3 seconds I think, or 2. Another really good special monster. This one also has an evolved form, which is way better than its base form. So you don't even really need to upgrade this to use it in your lineup because its ability is global. But if you do upgrade it, all you do is benefit from upgrading it. So sometimes I just throw Archimedes, I can't say the name, on my lineup just because the global freeze is nice paired with like King Slime's global stun. Up next we have Archangel Gabriel, I think. I think they literally just got him off the Bible, so that's pretty cool. He has a swinging sword as his normal attack, and for his ultimate he makes swords rain down from the sky, striking all enemies that are either in the path in front of him or like all enemies in his range basically. Honestly, I only upgraded this guy because I thought he looked cool, but also his ability is pretty cool because it hits whatever's in his range. So as long as they're in his range, they'll get hit. So sometimes he can cover all 3 lanes. So once again, it's like a mini King Slime, mini Felina, mini Sizzle. So these last 2, they come together, like their summoning stones summon the same monster. So like you can either choose to summon this one, which is Limzard, or the other one, which is Monke, because it's literally Godzilla versus King Kong. But Limzard has radioactive breath, so it's kind of like the Yeti ability where he breathes forward and just freezes all enemies in front of him, but instead of that, it's literally just doing damage. And Limzard's ultimate ability is just a beam that does a lot of damage. So this one is a pretty good damage dealer, but another very expensive upgrade. But as you can see in the footage, its breath can sometimes extend into the lane above it, which is pretty good. Also, it's not even slow or really slow, it's medium, so it's gonna be putting out a decent amount of damage. Last on the list, we have Monke, Monke, M-O-N-K-E. This guy is basically a golem, but a monkey. Like, they attack the same way, their abilities are the same. If you don't get what I mean that he's like a slow attacker with single target damage, and his ultimate ability is to just throw a rock that stuns a group of enemies. Like whatever gets hit by the rock and whatever's around the rock gets stunned for a bit. The only upside to this being that it is a special monster. Like, if this wasn't the case, then it would literally just be a worse golem. It's cheap to upgrade, right? So it's gonna be starting at 5 instead of starting at 500, which is, it's okay for what it is, but like, it's not the best monkey in the world. Well, but not the best monster in the world. So for the tier list portion, to make a tier list, I needed to link it to my Twitter, and I didn't feel like doing that, so I'm just gonna tell you guys the tiers and tell you what monsters are on which tier. Keep in mind that I think every special monster is viable, right? Because they're all basically legendaries in their own respect. But if we're gonna compare them to each other, this is what I would rank them as. That being said, I'm only gonna do A, B, and C tier. So starting off the C tier, I'm gonna put Monke, Darkwing, and Cronus in C tier. For B tier, I'm gonna put Mummy King, Archangel Gabriel, and Rudolph, because I feel like they all do kind of the same thing, which is pretty good. But the monsters in A tier are just doing what they do better. For A tier, I'm gonna put Archimedes, Crispy, Pony Sparks, Hellhound, and Limzard. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been seeing that a lot of people have been watching the Summoner's Greed video lately, the all special monsters one. So I wanted to just redo it with all the new ones, because I feel like it's been so long and there's been so many more that I should have probably done this a long time ago, but I did it now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This probably will be the last Summoner's Greed video on the channel, because as you can tell, probably it's a little bit harder for me to record Summoner's Greed than it was before, because before I could just record it off the screen and just put it into iMovie and it would work just fine. But here it kind of goes smaller and like more stretched out, so I had to do a lot of extra steps for it to be good quality. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.